crime have you done to my dog?
It was 7 minutes after midnight. The dog was lying on the grass in the middle of the lawn in front of Mrs. Shear's house.
Get away from my dog.
Its eyes were closed. It looked as if it was running on its side, the way dogs run when they think they are chasing a cat in a dream. But the dog was not running or asleep. The dog was dead.
Get away from my dog.
There was a garden fork sticking out of the dog. The dog was called Wellington. It belonged to Mrs. Shears, who was our friend. She lived on the opposite side of the road, 2 houses to the left.
Get away from my dog.
My name is Christopher John Francis Boone. I know all the countries of the world and the capital cities and every prime number up to 7,507.
Get away from my dog.
After 12.5 minutes, a policeman arrived. He had a big orange leaf stuck to the bottom of his shoe, which was poking out from one side. This is good, Christopher. It's quite exciting. I like the details. They make it more realistic. He squatted down next to me. He said to me,
"Would you like to tell me what's going on here, young man?"
I do not tell lies. Mother used to say that this was because I was a good person, but it is not because I am a good person, it is because I can't tell lies.
The dog is dead.
I got that far.
I think someone killed the dog.
How old are you?
I'm 15 years, 3 months and 2 days.
And what precisely are you doing in the garden?
I'm talking to you.
Okay, what were you doing in the garden in the first place?
I was holding the dog.
Why were you holding the dog? Why were you holding the dog?
I like dog.
Did you kill the dog?
I did not kill the dog.
Is this your fork?
No.
You seem very upset about this. I'm going to ask you once again. Terrific. Young man, I'm going to ask you to stop making that noise and to stand up, please, calmly and quietly. Marvelous, great, just flipping. I'm arresting you for assaulting a police officer. I strongly advise you get into the back of that police car, because if you try any of that monkey business again, you little shit, I'm going to seriously lose my rag. Is that understood?
I find people confusing. This is for 2 main reasons. The first main reason is that people do a lot of talking without using any words. Siobhan says that if you raise one eyebrow, it can mean lots of different things. It can mean I want to do sex with you. I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I didn't use those words, Christopher.
Yes, you did. On 12th September last year. At first break.
And it can also mean I think that what you just said was very stupid.
Could you take your laces out of your shoes, please, Christopher? Thank you. Could you empty your pocket into the desk, please?
Is that in case I have anything in them I could use to kill myself or escape or attack a policeman with?
That's right.
I've got a Swiss Army knife, but I only use it for doing odd jobs, not for stabbing things or hurting people.
Jolly good.
A piece of string.
A piece of a wooden puck.
3 pellets of rat food for Toby, my pet rat.
£1
a red
40 cents.
paperclip.
This
a
was
key
made up
as
of
well.
a £1 coin, a 20p coin, 2 10p coins, 5p coin, and a 2p.
Could you take your watch off, please, Christopher?
No!
I'm sorry, Christopher?
I need my watch to know exactly what time it is.
Take your watch off, please, Christopher. Christopher, please, will you take your watch off? I'm asking you for a final time. Give it here, lad. That's all right, son. You keep it. Do you have any family, Christopher?
Yes, I do.
And who is your family?
Father and mother, but mother is dead, and also my Uncle Terry, who is in Sunderland. He is my father's brother, and my grandparents too. But 3 of them are dead, and Grandma Burton is in a home because she has senile dementia and thinks I'm someone on television.
Right. Lovely. Do you know your father's phone number, Christopher?
I could see the Milky Way as we drove towards the town centre.
Could you?
Some people think the Milky Way is a long line of stars, but it isn't. Our galaxy is a huge disk of stars of millions of light years across, and the solar system is somewhere near the outer edge of the disk.
Is that right?
For a long time, scientists were puzzled by the fact that the sky is dark at night. And even though there are billions of stars in the universe, and there must be stars in every direction you look, so that the sky should be full of starlight because there is very little in the way to stop the light reaching Earth. Then they worked out that the universe was expanding, that the stars were all rushing away from one another after the Big Bang. And the further the stars were away from us, the faster they were moving. Some of them nearly as fast as the speed of light, which was why the light never reached us.
Terrific.
Christopher? Mr. Boone? Could you come this way, please?
Are you going to interview me and record the interview?
We don't think there'll be any need for that. I've spoken to your father, and he says you didn't mean to hit the policeman. Did you mean to hit the policeman?
Yes.
But you didn't mean to hurt the policeman.
No, I didn't mean to hurt the policeman. I just wanted him to stop touching me.
You know it's wrong to hit the policeman, don't you?
I do.
Did you kill the dog, Christopher?
I didn't kill the dog.
You know it's wrong to lie to a policeman. That you can get into a very great deal of trouble if you do.
Yes.
Do you know who killed the dog?
No.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes, I always tell the truth.
Right. I'm gonna have to give you a caution.
Is that on a piece of paper like a certificate I can keep?
No. A caution means we're gonna keep a record of what you did. That you hit a policeman. But it was an accident and you didn't mean to hurt
Well, it
the
wasn't an
policeman.
accident.
Christopher. Please.
If you get into any more trouble, we'll take out this record and say that you've been given a caution. And they don't take things more seriously. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
The second main reason is that people often talk using metaphors. These are examples of metaphors.
I am going to certainly lose my rock.
apple of her eye.
They had a skeleton.
We
in
had
the
a
cupboard.
real pig of a
The
day.
dog was stone dead.
The word metaphor means carrying something from one place to another, and it is when you describe something by using a word for something that it isn't. This means that the word metaphor is a metaphor. Wow, that's clever.
It's true.
Yes. I think it should be called a lie, because a pig is not like a day, and people do not have skeletons in their cupboards, and when I try and make a picture of the phrase in my head, it just confuses me, because imagining an apple in someone's eye doesn't have anything to do with liking someone a lot, and it makes you forget what the person was talking about.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't kill Wellington.
I know. Christopher, you have to stay out of trouble. Okay?
I didn't think I was going to get into any trouble. I like Wellington, and I went over to say hello to him, but I didn't know someone had killed him.
Just keep your nose out of other people's business.
I'm going to find out who killed Wellington.
Were you listening
Yes,
to what I
was
said,
listening to what you were
Christopher?
saying, but when someone gets murdered, you have to find out who did it so that they can be punished.
It's a bloody dog, Christopher.
I think dogs are important too. I think some dogs are cleverer than some people. The Steve, for example, who comes to school on Thursdays, needs help eating his food. And he probably couldn't even fetch a stick.
Leave it!
I wonder if the police will find out who did it and punish the person.
I said, leave it. sake!
Are you sad about Wellington?
Yeah, you could say that. You could very well say that.
Mother died 2 years ago. I came home from school one day and no one answered the door, so I went and found the secret key that we keep under a flower pot outside the kitchen window. I let myself into the house and wiped my feet on the mat. I put the key in the bowl on the table. I took my coat off and hung it by the side of the fridge so it would be ready for school the next day, and gave 3 pellets of rat food to Toby, who is my pet rat. I made myself a raspberry milkshake and heated it up in the microwave. Then I went up to my bedroom and turned on my bedroom light and played 6 games of Tetris and got to level 38, which is my 4th best ever score.
Christopher? Have you seen your mum?
No.
I went downstairs and started making some phone calls. I did not hear what he said. Then he came up to my room and said he had to go out for a while and he wasn't sure how long he would be. He said that if I needed anything, I should call him on his mobile phone. He was away for 2.5 hours. When he came back, I went downstairs.
I'm afraid you won't be able to see your mother for a while.
Why not?
Your mother's had to go into hospital.
Can we visit her?
No!
Why can't we?
She needs rest. She needs to be on her own.
Is it a psychiatric hospital?
No, it's an ordinary hospital. She's had a problem with her heart.
We need to take food to her.
I'll take some to her during the day, when you're at school. I'll give it to the doctors, and they can give it to her, your mum.
But you can't cook.
Christopher, look. I'll buy some of that ready-made stuff from Marks and Spencer. The kind she likes. I'll take it into
I need to make her a get well card. If I make her a get well card, will you take it in for her tomorrow?
How are you today, Christopher?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's good.
In the bus on the way to school today, we passed 4 red cars in a row.
4?
So today is a good day.
Oh, great, I'm glad.
I've decided I'm gonna try and find out who killed Wellington, because a good day is a good day for projects and planning things.
Who's Wellington?
Wellington is a dog that used to belong to my neighbor Mrs. Shiz, who was our friend, but he is dead now because someone killed him by putting a garden fork through him. And I found him, and then a policeman thought I'd killed him, but I hadn't, and then he tried to touch me, so I hit him, and then I had to go to the police station.
Gosh.
And I'm gonna find out who really killed him. And make it a project, even though Father told me not to.
Did he?
Yes.
I see.
I don't always do what I'm told.
Why?
Because when people tell you what to do, it's usually confusing and does not make any sense. And for example, people often say, be quiet, but then don't tell you how long to be quiet for.
No. I mean, why did your father tell you not to try to find out who killed Wellington, Christopher?
I don't know.
Christopher, if your father tells you not to do something, maybe you shouldn't do it. Well, we're meant to be writing stories today, so why don't you write about what happened to Wellington?
Okay.
I can help you.
Will you help me with the spelling and the grammar and the footnotes?
Christopher? I'm sorry. Your mother's died. She's had a heart attack. It wasn't expected.
What kind of heart attack?
I don't know what kind of heart attack. Now isn't the moment, Christopher, to be asking those kinds of questions.
It was probably an aneurysm.
I'm sorry, Christopher. I'm really sorry.
Reverend Peters, where's heaven?
I'm sorry, Christopher?
In our universe, whereabouts is it exactly?
It's not in our universe. It's another kind of place altogether.
There isn't anything outside our universe, Reverend Peters. There isn't another kind of place altogether. Except there might be if you go through a black hole, but a black hole is what is called a singularity, which means it's impossible to find out what's on the other side. Because the gravity of a black hole is so big that even electromagnetic waves, like light, can't get out of it, and electromagnetic waves are how we get information about things which are far away. And if heaven is on the other side of a black hole, then dead people would have to be fired out of a rocket to get there. And there aren't, people would notice.
Well, when I say heaven is outside our universe, it's really just a manner of speaking. I suppose what it really means is that they are with God.
But where is God?
Christopher, we should talk about this on another day, when I have more time.
It's Christopher, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Do you know who killed Wellington?
Oh. No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Did you see anything suspicious on Thursday evening which might be a clue?
Like what?
Like strangers or the sound of people arguing?
I didn't, Christopher. No.
Do you know of anyone who might want to make Mrs. Shears sad?
Perhaps you should be talking to your father about this.
I can't talk to my father about it because he told me to stay out of other people's business.
Well, maybe he has a point, Christopher.
So, you don't know anything that might be a clue?
No. You be careful, young man.
I will be. Thank you for helping me with my questions. Do you know who killed Wellington on Thursday night?
Bloody hell, policemen really are getting younger, aren't they?
Do you know anything about Wellington getting
I'm
killed?
afraid you're going to have to say that again. I'm a little deaf.
Do you know anything about Wellington getting killed?
I heard about it yesterday. Dreadful.
Do you know who killed him?
No, I don't.
Somebody must know, because the person who killed Wellington knows they killed Wellington. Well, unless they were mad and didn't know what they were doing. Or unless they had amnesia.
Well, I suppose you're probably right.
Thank you for helping me with my investigation.
Christopher, aren't you?
Yes, I live at number 36.
We haven't talked before, have
No,
we?
I don't talk to strangers, but I'm doing detective work.
I see you going to school every day on your school bus. It's very nice of you to come and say hello, even if it is only because you're doing detective work.
Thank you.
I have a grandson your age.
I'm 15 years, 3 months, and 3 days.
Well, almost your age. You don't have a dog, do you?
No,
I bet you'd like a dog, wouldn't you?
I have a rat.
A rat?
He's called Toby.
Oh.
Some people don't like rats because they think they carry around diseases like bubonic plague. But that's only because they lived in sewers and stowed away on ships, which were traveling to foreign countries where there were very strange diseases. But rats are very clean.
You want to come in for tea?
No, I don't go into other people's houses.
Well, maybe I could bring some tea out here. Do you like lemon squash?
I only like orange squash.
Luckily, I have some of that as well. And what about Battenberg?
I don't know because I don't know what Battenberg is.
It's a kind of cake. It has marzipan icing around the edge.
Is it a long cake with a square cross-section, which is divided into evenly sized, alternately colored squares?
Yes, I think you could probably describe it like that.
I think I like the pink squares, but not the yellow squares, because I don't like yellow. And I don't know what marzipan is, so I don't know whether I'll like that.
Well, I'm afraid marzipan is yellow too. Perhaps I should get some biscuits instead. Do you like biscuits?
Yes, some sorts of biscuits.
I'll get a selection.
She moved very slowly because she was an old lady, and she was inside the house for more than 6 minutes, and I began to get nervous because I didn't know her well enough to know whether she was telling the truth about getting orange squash and Battenberg cake. And I thought she might be ringing the police, and then I'd get into much more serious trouble because of the caution. So I walked away.
Why would you kill a dog?
I wouldn't.
I think you would only kill a dog if A, you hated a dog, or B, you were mad, or C, because you wanted to make Mrs. Shears upset. I don't know anybody who hated Wellington, so if it was A, it was probably a stranger. I don't know any mad people either, so if it was B, it was probably a stranger
Right.
too. But most murders are committed by someone who is known to the victim. In fact, you are more likely to be murdered by a member of your own family on Christmas Day.
That's a fact?
It actually is a fact. Wellington was therefore most likely to have been killed by someone known to him. I only know one person who didn't like Mrs. Shears, and that is Mr. Shears, who divorced Mrs. Shears and left her to live somewhere else, and who knew Wellington very well indeed. This means that Mrs. Shears is my prime suspect.
Christopher.
I'm gonna find out more about Mr. Shears.
Mr. Boone, nobody has ever taken an A-level in the school before.
Well, you can be the first then.
Don't know if we have the facilities in the school to allow him to do that.
Then get the facilities.
I can't treat Christopher differently than any other student.
Why not?
Because then everyone would want to be treated differently.
So?
It would set a precedent. Christopher can always do his A-levels later.
Don't you think Christopher's already getting a crap enough deal as it is, without you shitting on him from a great height as well?
That.
Jesus, this is the one thing he's really good at.
If Christopher sits on an A-level, then he'd have to have a member of staff looking after him in a separate
I'll pay for
room.
it then. You can do it after school. How much? What, 50 quid?
Mr. Boone.
I am not going to take no for an answer. Where have you been?
I have been
I got
out.
a phone call from Mrs. Shears. What the bloody hell were you doing, poking around her garden?
I was doing detective work, trying to figure out who killed Wellington.
How many times have I got to tell you, Christopher? I told you to keep your nose out of other people's business.
I think Mr. Shears probably killed Wellington.
I will not have that man's name mentioned in my house!
Why not?
That man is evil.
Does that mean he probably killed Wellington?
Jesus wept.
I know you told me to stay out of other people's business, but Mrs. Shears is a friend of ours.
Well, she's not a friend anymore.
Why not?
Okay, Christopher. I'm going to say this one final time, and I will not say it again. Look at me when I'm talking to you, for God's sake. Look at me! You are not to go asking Mrs. Shears about who killed that bloody dog again. You are not to go asking anyone about who killed that dog again. You are to give up this bloody ridiculous detective game right now. I'm going to make you promise me, Christopher. And you know what it means when you make me a promise.
I know.
Promise me you will give up this game right now. Okay?
I promise.
I think I would make a very good astronaut. To be a good astronaut, you have to be intelligent, and I'm intelligent. You also have to understand how machines work, and I'm good at understanding how machines work.
You also have to be someone who would like being on their own in a tiny spacecraft thousands and thousands of miles away from the surface of the Earth, and not panic or get claustrophobia or homesick or insane. And I really like little spaces, as so long as there's no one else in them with me.
Yeah, I noticed.
Sometimes when I want to be on my own, I get into the airing cupboard and slide in beside the boiler and pull the door closed behind me and sit there and think for hours, and it makes me feel very calm.
So, I would have to be an astronaut on my own, or have my own part of the spacecraft that no one else can come into. And also, there are no yellow things or brown things in a spacecraft, so that would be okay too. And I would have to talk to other people from mission control, but we would do that through a radio link up and a TV monitor, so it wouldn't be like real people or who are like strangers, but it would be like playing a computer game. Also, I wouldn't be homesick at all because I'll be surrounded by lots of things I like, which are machines and computers and outer space, and I would be able to look out of the little window in the spacecraft and know that there was no one else near me for thousands and thousands.
Christopher.
What?
Could we please just give it a rest, mate? Please.
Father said...
I see. That's a pity.
So the book is finished.
Well, Christopher, if your father said he wanted you to stop, then I think he probably has a good reason, and I think you should stop. But you can still be very proud because what you've written so far is just, well, it's great.
It's very short.
Well, some very good books are very short.
It's not a proper book.
Why not?
It doesn't have a proper ending, and I never find out who killed Wellington, so the murderer is still at large.
Not all murders are solved, and not all murderers are caught.
I don't like the idea that he could be living somewhere nearby, and I could go out for a walk and run into him.
I don't think that's going to happen, Christopher.
Father said I was never to mention Mr. Shear's name in our house again, and that he was an evil man. And maybe that meant he was the person who killed Wellington.
I think you should do what your father tells you to do.
What happened to you the other day?
Which day?
I came out again and you'd gone. I had to eat all the biscuits myself.
I went away.
Oh, I gathered that.
I thought you might ring the police.
Why on earth would I do that?
Because I was sticking my nose into other people's business, and Father said I shouldn't investigate who killed Wellington anymore. And a policeman gave me a caution, and if I get into trouble again, it'll get worse because of the caution.
Very shy, aren't you, Christopher?
I'm not allowed to talk to you.
Don't worry. I won't tell the police. And I won't tell your father. Because there's nothing wrong with having a chat. Having a chat is just being friendly, isn't it?
I don't do chatting.
Do you like computers?
Yes, I like computers. I have a computer at home in my bedroom.
I know. Sometimes I see you sitting at your computer in your bedroom when I look across the street.
And I like maths and looking after Toby. And I also like outer space, and I like being on my own.
I bet you're very good at maths, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to be doing A-level maths next month, and I'm going to get an A.
Stop. A-level maths?
Yes, I don't tell lies.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to suggest that you were lying. I just wondered if I heard you correctly. I'm a little deaf sometimes.
I remember you told me, and I'm the first person to do an A-level math from my school, because it's a special school, and all the other students, all the other children at my school are stupid, except I'm not meant to call them stupid, even though that is what they are.
Well, I'm very impressed, and I hope you do get an A star.
I will.
The only other thing I know about you is that your favorite color is not yellow.
No, and I don't like brown either. My favorite color is red and metal color. Do you know Mr. Shiz?
No, not really. I mean, I knew him well enough to say hello, but I didn't know much about him. I think he worked in the National Westminster Bank in town.
Father said he was an evil man. Do you know why he said that?
Perhaps it would be best not to talk about these things, Christopher.
Why not?
Because maybe your father is right and you shouldn't go around asking questions about this.
Why?
Because obviously he is going to find it quite upsetting.
Why is he going to find it quite upsetting?
I think you know why your father doesn't like Mr. Shears very much.
Did Mr. Shears kill Mother?
Kill her?
Yes, did he kill her?
No, of course he didn't kill your mother.
But didn't he cause her stress so that she died of a heart attack?
I honestly don't know what you're talking about, Christopher.
Or did he hurt her so that she had to go into hospital?
Did she have to go into hospital?
Yes, but it wasn't very serious at first, but then she had a heart attack when she was in hospital. And she died.
My goodness. Oh, Christopher, I am so sorry. I never realized.
Why did you say, I think you know why your father doesn't like Mr. Shears very much?
Dear. So, you don't know?
Don't know what?
Look, Christopher, perhaps we should take a walk together in the park. This is not the place to be talking about this kind of thing.
Where have you been, young man?
I went to the shop to get some licorice laces and a Milky Bar.
You were a long time.
I talked to Mrs. Alexander's dog outside the shop and stroked him and he sniffed my trousers.
Well, you do get the 3rd degree, don't you? So, how are you doing, Captain?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Rodri.
What's 251 times 864?
216,864. Is that right?
I haven't got a bloody clue.
I'll stick one of those alu gobi sarg things in the oven for you.
Okay.
With your little bottle of red paint in it, eh, Christopher?
It's not red paint, it's red food colouring. Because I don't eat yellow food. And if you put red paint into a curry, it would be extremely dangerous and it would probably kill you.
Ah! Rodders, you plonker!
Have you told your father about this?
No.
Are you going to tell your father about this?
No.
Did it make you sad to find this out?
Find what out?
Did it make you sad to find out that your mother and Mr. Shears had an affair?
No.
Are you telling the truth, Christopher?
Yes, I always tell the truth. I don't feel sad about it because Mother is dead and Mr. Shears isn't around anymore. So I would be feeling sad about something that isn't real and doesn't exist, and that would be stupid.
What was your mother like, Christopher? Do you remember much about her?
I remember 20 July 2006. I was 9 years old. It was a Saturday, and we were on holiday in Cornwall. We were on the beach in a place called Polporo. Mother was wearing a pair of shorts made of denim and a stripy blue swimming costume, and she was smoking cigarettes called Consulate, which were mint flavor, and she wasn't swimming. She was sunbathing on a towel that had red and purple stripes, and she was reading a book by Georgette Heyer called The Masqueraders, and then she finished sunbathing and went into the river, and she said,
Bloody Nora, it's cold.
Bloody Nora, it's cold. And she said I should come and swim too, but I didn't like swimming because I don't like taking my clothes off, and she said I should just roll up my trousers and walk into the water a little way. So I did, and Mother said...
Christopher! Over here, love. Christopher, look, it's lovely.
And she jumped backwards and disappeared under the water, and I thought a shark had eaten her, and I screamed. And she stood up out of the water again and came to where I was standing and held up her right hand and spread out her fingers like a fan.
Come on, Christopher. Touch my hand. Listen to me, Christopher. You can do it. It's okay. Christopher, it's okay.
There aren't any shops in Cornwall.
When we were inside the park, Mrs. Alexander stopped walking and said to me, "I have something to tell you, Christopher, and you must promise me that you will not tell your father that I told you. Your mother, before she died, was very good friends with Mr. Shears."
And other times, she used to say,
If I hadn't married your father, I think I'd be living in a little farmhouse in the south of France with someone called Jean. And he'd be our local handyman. You know, doing painting, decorating for people, gardening, building fences. And we'd have a veranda with things growing over it. And there would be a field of sunflowers at the bottom of the garden and a little town on the hill in the distance. And we'd sit outside in the evening and drink red wine and smoke Gaulois cigarettes and watch the sun go down.
What is this?
"It's a book I'm writing."
Is this true? Did you speak to Mrs. Alexander?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, Christopher, how could you be so stupid? What the fuck did I tell you, eh?
Not to mention Mr. Shears' name in the house, and not to go asking Mrs. Shears or anyone about who killed that bloody dog, and not to go trespassing into other people's gardens, and to stop this bloody ridiculous detective game. Except I haven't done any of those things. I was just asking Mrs. Alexander about Mr. Shears because...
Just don't give me that bollocks, you little shit. You knew exactly what you were doing. I've read the book, remember? What else did I tell you, Christopher?
I don't know.
Come on, you're the memory man. I told you not to go sticking your fucking nose into other people's business. And what do? You go sticking your nose in other people's business. You go raking up the past and sharing it with every Tom, Dick and Harry you bump into. What am I going to do with you, Christopher? What the fuck am I going to do with you?
I was just chatting with Mrs. Alexander. I wasn't doing investigating.
I asked you to do one thing for me, Christopher. One thing!
I didn't want to do Mrs. Alexander. It was Mrs. Alexander.
I need a drink. I'm sorry I hit you. I didn't mean to. I love you very much, Christopher. Don't ever forget that. I know I lose my rag sometimes, and I shouldn't. But I just do it because I worry about you. I don't want to see you getting into trouble. I don't want to see you get hurt.
Where's my book?
Do you understand me, Christopher? Christopher, do you understand that I love you?
Is it in the dustbin at the front of the house?
When I got home from school, Father was still at work, so I went outside and looked inside the dustbin, but the book wasn't there. I wondered if Father had put it into his van and driven to the tip and put it in one of those big bins there, but I did not want that to be true because then I would never see it again. One other possibility was that Father had hidden my book somewhere in the house. So I decided to do some detecting and see if I could find it. I started by looking in the kitchen. Then I detected in the utility room. Then I detected in the dining room. Then I detected in the living room, where I found the missing wheel from my Airfix Saturn 1B Rocket 172 model under the sofa. Then I went upstairs. But I didn't do any detecting in my own room because I reasoned that Father wouldn't hide something from me in my own room unless he was being very clever and doing what is called a double bluff, like in a real murder mystery novel. So I decided to look in my own room only if I couldn't find the book anywhere else. I detected in the bathroom, but the only place to look was in the airing cupboard, and there was nothing in there, which meant the only room left to detect in was Father's bedroom. I started by looking under the bed. There were 7 shoes, and a comb with lots of hair in it, and a monkey wrench, and a chocolate biscuit, and a magazine called Men Only, and a pair of navy underpants from Marks and Spencer that are called Y-fronts, and a Homer Simpson pattern tie, and a wooden spoon, but not my book. Then I looked in the drawers on either side of the dressing table, but these only contained aspirin and nail clippers and batteries and dental floss and tissues and a spare false tooth and tampon, but my book wasn't there either. Then I looked in his clothes cupboard. In the bottom of the cupboard was a large plastic toolbox, which was full of tools for doing it yourself, but I could see these without opening the box because it was made of transparent grey plastic. Then I saw that there was another box underneath the toolbox. The other box was an old cardboard box that is called a shirt box because people used to buy shirts in them. And when I opened the shirt box, I saw my book was inside it. Then I heard his van pulling up outside the house, and I knew that I had to think fast and be clever. I heard Father shutting the door of the van, and that is when I saw the envelope. It was an envelope addressed to me, and it was lying under my book in the shirt box with some other envelopes. I picked it up. It had never been opened. It said, then I noticed there were lots of envelopes, and they were all addressed to me. And this was interesting and confusing. And then I noticed how the words Christopher and Swindon were written. They were written like this.
Christopher.
I only know 3 people who do little circles instead of dots over the letter I. And one of them is Siobhan, and one of them is Mr. Loxley, who used to teach at the school, and one of them was Mother.
Ah, Christopher.
Hello?
What have you been up to today, young man?
Today we did life skills with Siobhan, which means using money and public transport. And I had tomato soup for lunch and 3 apples, and I practiced some maths in the afternoon, and we took a walk in the park with Mrs. Peters and collected leaves for making collages.
Excellent, excellent. What do you fancy for chow tonight?
Baked beans and broccoli.
I think that can very easily be arranged. Listen, I've got to finish putting the shelves up in the living room. I'm going to make a bit of a racket, I'm afraid, so...
I'll be on my own in my room.
I went up to my room, and when I was in my room, I shut the door and took out the envelope. I opened the envelope. Inside there was a letter, and this was what was written in the letter.
451C, Chapter Road, Willesden, London, NW2 5NG, Z2Z 8887 89Z7.
Dear Christopher, I'm sorry it's been such a very long time since I wrote my last letter to you.
I've been very busy. I've got a new job, working as a secretary in a factory that makes things out of steel. You'd like it a lot. They have these huge machines that make the steel and cut it and bend it into whatever shape they may need. We've moved into a new flat at last, as you can see from the new address. It's not as nice as the old one, and I don't like Willesden very much, but it's easier for Roger to get to work. Oh, and he's bought it. He only rented the last one. But we can get any of our own furniture. We can paint the walls any color we want to. You haven't written to me yet. And so I know you're probably still angry with me. I'm sorry, Christopher. But I still love you. And I hope you don't stay mad at me forever. And I'd love it if you would write to me. But don't forget to send it to the new address. I think about you all the time. Lots of love. Your Mum.
I was really confused. Mother had never worked as a secretary for the factory that made things out of steel. And Mother had never lived in London. And Mother had never written a letter to me before. There was no date on the letter, so I couldn't work out when Mother had written the letter. And then I looked at the front of the envelope and I saw there was a postmark. And there was a date on the postmark, 16 of October 2011. Which meant that the letter was posted 18 months after Mother had died.
What are you doing?
I'm reading a letter.
Right, well, I'll finish the drilling now, so if you're interested, there's a David Attenborough nature documentary on television.
Okay.
When I started writing my book, there was only one mystery to solve. Now there were two. Perhaps the letter was in the wrong envelope and it had been written before Mother had died. Perhaps it wasn't a letter from Mother. Perhaps it was a letter to another person called Christopher from that Christopher's mother. Perhaps someone else had written the letter and pretended to be Mother. I decided I would not think about it anymore that night because I didn't have enough information and could easily leap to the wrong conclusions.
Yeah, you're soaking.
Yes.
Here, give me a coat, I'll hang it up. How was school?
It was good, thank you. Joseph Fleming took his trousers off and went to the toilet all over the floor of the changing room and started to eat it. But Mr. Davis stopped him.
Oh, Mr. Davies, eh?
Joseph eats everything.
Does he?
He once ate one of the little blocks of blue disinfectant which hang in the toilets, and he once ate a £50 note from his mother's wallet, and he eats string and rubber bands and tissues and writing paper and paints and plastic forks, and he bangs his chin and screams a lot.
Yeah, I know how he feels. Christopher.
Tyrone said there was a horse and a pig in the poo, so I told him he was being stupid, and Siobhan said he wasn't. They were plastic animals from the library that the staff used to make people tell stories, and Joseph had eaten them.
Christopher, I've got to go out.
Why?
I've just had a call. There's a lady whose basement's all flooded. I've got to go out and fix it.
Is it an emergency?
Yes, mate.
Why can't Rodri go?
No, mate, he's on a call already.
So there's two emergencies.
That's right, mate.
It's raining very heavily.
It is.
The rain looks like white sparks.
If I go out, will you be okay?
Yes, I will, because no one's around and everyone's staying indoors.
Good. Good. Relax.
I like looking at the rain.
Terrific.
I like it because it makes me think about all the water in the world is connected.
I'll have my mobile with me. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, call me if there's a problem, yeah?
Yes.
Behave yourself, Christopher. Yeah?
Yes.
So I went into his bedroom and opened up the cupboard and lifted the toolbox off the top of the shirt box and opened the shirt box. I counted out the letters. There were 43 of them. They were all addressed to me in the same handwriting. I took one and opened it. Inside was this letter.
45C Chapter Road, London, NW2 5NG 020 888 78907. I was looking through some old photos last night, which made me sad. Then I found a photo of you playing with the train set we bought for you a couple of Christmases ago. And that made me happy, because it was one of the really good times we had together. Do you remember how you played with it all day and you refused to go to bed at night because you were still playing with it? We told you all about train timetables and you made a train timetable. And there was a little wooden station too, and we showed you how people who wanted to go on the train went to the station and bought a ticket and then got on the train, and you played with it for weeks and weeks and weeks. I liked remembering that a lot.
Then I opened another envelope. This was the letter that was inside.
Dear Christopher, I said that I wanted to explain to you why I went away when I had the time to do it properly. Now I have lots of time. So, I'm sitting on the sofa here with this letter and the radio on, and I'm going to try to explain. I was not a very good mother, Christopher. Maybe if things had been different, maybe if you'd been different, I might have been better at it. But that's just the way things turned out. I'm not like your father. Your father is a much more patient person. He just gets on with things, and if things upset him, he doesn't let it show. But that's not the way I am, and there's nothing I can do to change it. Do you remember once when we went shopping in town together, and we went into Bendall's, and it was really crowded, and we had to get a Christmas present for Grandma? And you were frightened because of all the people in the shop, and it was the middle of Christmas shopping, and everyone was in. And I was talking to Mr. Land, who works on the kitchen floor and went to school with me, and you crouched down on the kitchen floor and you covered your ears with your hands, and you were in the way of everyone, and I got cross because I don't like shopping at Christmas either, and I told you to behave, and I tried to pick you up and move you, but you shouted and you knocked those mixers off the shelf, and there was a big crash, and everyone turned round to see what was going on. And Mr. Land was really nice about it. There were boxes and bits of broken bowl on the floor, and everyone was staring, and I saw that you had wet yourself, and I was cross
And I wanted to take you out of the shop, but you wouldn't let me touch you. You just lay on the floor and screamed and banged your hands and feet on the floor, and the manager came and asked me what the problem was. I was at the end of my tether and I had to pay for 2 broken mixers, and we just had to wait until he stopped screaming. And then I had to walk you all the way home, which took hours because I knew you would not go on the bus again. And I remember that night, I just cried and cried and cried. And your father was really nice about it at first. And he made you supper and put you to bed. And he said, these things happen and it would be okay. But I said I couldn't take it anymore. And eventually he got really cross. And he told me I was being stupid and said I should put myself together. And I hit him, which was wrong. But I was so upset. We had a lot of arguments like that because I often thought I couldn't take it anymore. And your father is really patient, but I'm not. I get cross even though I don't mean to. And by the end we stopped talking to each other very much because we knew it would end up in an argument, and I felt really, really lonely.
And that was when I started spending lots of time with Roger.
I know you might not understand any of this, but I wanted to try to explain.
We had a lot in common. And then we realized that we were in love with one another.
And he was sad about that. But he understood that you were really important to me.
And you started to shout. And I got cross. And I threw the food across the room, which I know I shouldn't have done.
You grabbed the chopping board and you threw it and hit my foot and broke my toes.
And afterwards, at home, your father and I had a huge argument.
And I couldn't walk properly for a month. Do you remember?
And I remember looking at you.
And your father had to look after you.
Seeing you together and thinking how you were really different with him. Much calmer.
Because it was like you didn't need me at all.
And I think then I realized you and your father were probably better off if I wasn't living in the house.
And Roger asked me if I wanted to come with him.
And it broke my heart. But eventually I decided it would be better for all of us if I went.
And so I said yes.
And I meant to say goodbye.
But when I rang your father, he said I couldn't. He was really angry and he said I couldn't.
He said I was being selfish. That I was never to set foot inside the house again.
And so I haven't.
I wonder if you can understand any of this. I know it will be difficult for you.
I thought what I was doing was the best for all of us. I hope it is.
Christopher, I never meant to hurt you.
I used to have dreams that everything would get better. Do you remember when you used to say you wanted to be an astronaut? Well, I used to have dreams where you were an astronaut and you were on television, and I thought, that's my son. I wonder, what is it that you want to be now? Has it changed? Are you still doing maths? I hope you are. Loads and loads of love. Mother.
Christopher? 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 Christopher, what are you doing? these are... Oh, shit. Oh, Christ. Look, it was an accident. I don't know what to say. I was in such a mess. I said she was in hospital because I didn't know how to explain it. It was so complicated. And then once I'd said it, I couldn't change it. It just got out of control. Oh, Christopher, you've got sick all down you. Oh, okay. Let's get you sitting up and we'll take your clothes off and get you into bed, yeah? I'm going to have to touch you, but it's going to be all right. Okay. Have you eaten anything tonight? Christopher, can I get you something to eat? Look, I'm going to go and put your clothes in the washing machine, and then I'll be right back up. Yeah? Okay. How you feeling? Can I get you anything? Look, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I want you to know that you can trust me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you the truth from now on about everything. Because if you don't tell the truth now, then, well, later on it just hurts more. So, I killed Wellington. Just let me explain. After your mum left, Eileen, Mrs. Shears, she was very good to me. She helped me through a very difficult time. And I thought, well, you know, she was round here most days and... Shit, Christopher, I'm trying to make this simple. I thought maybe she'd come round more. I don't know, maybe it was stupid, but she might move in here. Or we could go and move into her house. Thought she was a friend. Guess I was wrong about it. Anyway. We argued. I'm not going to say to you the things that she said to me because, Christopher, they're not nice. Sometimes I think she cared more about that bloody dog than either of us. I don't know, I mean, maybe looking back that's not so stupid. Maybe it is easier
to live on your own with some bloody mutt than with actual human beings. I mean, shit, buddy. You and I, we're not exactly low maintenance, are we? Anyway, we argued. And after this one particularly nasty little blowout, she chucked me out of the house. Well, look, I mean, you know about that dog. It could be nice as pie one minute, you know, roll over, tickle its stomach, and it sink its teeth into your leg the next. Yeah, well, she was, we were yelling at each other, and she slammed the door in my face. And the dog was there. And it came up and... look, I know. Maybe I should have just kicked it, you know, just made it back down. But, you know, the red mist came down, Christopher, and you know what that's like. I mean, you're not so different, you and I. And it was like 2 years of everything I've been bottling up just came out all at once. I didn't want it to end up like this. Okay. Look. Let's leave this for this evening, yeah? I'll go downstairs and I'll let you get some sleep. And we can talk about it here in the morning. It's gonna be alright, Christopher. Honestly. Trust me.
Two, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048, 4096, 8192, 16384, 32, 768, 32, 768, 32, 768.
Father had murdered Wellington. That meant he could murder me. I couldn't stay at the house anymore. I made a decision. I did this by thinking of all the things I could do and deciding whether they were the right decision or not.
Stay home.
I couldn't stay at the house anymore.
Christopher, please.
No, because I can't live with you in the house with you anymore, because it is dangerous. I can't go and live with you because you can't look after me when school's closed.
I could try and...
No, because you're a teacher.
Yes.
Not a friend or a member of my family.
You could go and live with your Uncle Terry.
You live in Sunderland. I don't know how to get to Sunderland.
Get a train. Get the train from Swindon.
And you smoke cigarettes and you stroke my hair. You're not a friend either.
I think I'm a friend.
No, and you're not a member of my family.
I do have a dog.
Yes, but I can't stay overnight at your house or use your toilet because you've used it and you're a stranger.
I'm not really a stranger, Christopher.
Yes.
Chapter Road, London, NW2 5NG. 451C, Chapter Road,
451C,
NW2
Chapter Road.
451C, Chapter Road,
London, NW2 5NG.
Christopher, I want to ask you something. Mrs. Gascoigne wondered if we would like to do a play this year. She asked me to ask everybody if we'd like to make some kind of performance for the school. Everybody could join in and play a part in it.
I think it would be a good idea for everybody to join in and play a part in it.
I was wondering if you'd like to make a play out of your book.
No.
I think it could be really good fun, Christopher.
I think it could be really good fun.
But no. It's a book, and it's just for me, not for everybody, just for me.
I know that, Christopher, but I think a lot of people would be interested in what would happen if people took your book and started acting bits out of it.
No, I don't like acting, because it's just pretending to be something that's real when it's really not real at all. So it is kind of like a lie.
But people like stories, Christopher. Some people find things which are kind of true in things which are made up. You like your Sherlock Holmes stories, and you know Sherlock Holmes isn't a real person, don't you? I would help you if you were worried about that.
No.
I think I'd rather like to take the part of a policeman.
You're too old to be a policeman.
Christopher! Christopher!
What on earth has happened to you, Christopher?
Can you look after Toby for me?
Who's Toby?
Toby is my pet rat.
Oh, yes, I remember now. You told me.
He eats special pellets, and you can buy them from a pet shop. And he needs new water in his bottle every day, too.
Why do you need somebody to look after Toby, Christopher?
I'm going to London.
How long are you going for?
Until I go to university.
Right. Are you in your father moving house?
No.
So why are you going to London?
I'm going to live with Mother.
I thought you told me your mother was dead.
I thought she was dead, but she was still alive. And Father had lied to me. And also, he killed Wellington. And so that means he could kill me.
Is your mother here?
No, Mother is in London. She lives at 451C Chapter Road, London. NW2 5NG.
So you're going to London on your own?
I think I'm going to do that, yes.
Perhaps you should come inside and sit down and we can talk about all this.
No, I can't come inside. Can you look after Toby for me?
I really don't think that would be a good idea, Christopher. Where's your father at the moment, Christopher?
I don't know.
Well, maybe we should try and give him a ring and see if we can get in touch with him. I'm sure he's worried about you, and I'm sure there's been a dreadful misunderstanding.
3558 3558 3558
3558. Where do I buy a map?
Pardon?
Where do I buy a map?
A map of where?
A map of here.
I don't know. Where do you want to get to?
I'm going to the train station.
You don't need a map to get to the train station.
I do, because I don't know where the train station is.
You can see it from here.
No, I can't. And I also need to know where there's a cash machine.
There. That's building. So signal point on the top. Okay, the British Rail sign's on the other end. The station's at the bottom of that.
Do you mean the stripy building with the horizontal windows that you can see over those houses over there?
That's the one.
How do I get to that building?
Gordon Bennett.
I knew that the train station was somewhere near. And if something is nearby, you can find it by moving in a spiral. Walking clockwise and taking every right turn until you come back to a road you've already walked on. And then you take the next left, and then you take every right turn and so on. And that is how I found the station.
Customers seeking access to the car park, please use assistance phone opposite, right of the ticket office.
CCTV in operation.
Cold beer and loggers.
Caution, wet floor.
Your 50p will keep a premature baby alive for 1.8 seconds.
Transport travel.
Refreshingly different.
Z8 7Z 777 7676.
The lemon tree.
No smoking.
Fointies.
Automatic fire door. Keep
Air conditioned.
Reserved parking.
Open as usual, this way.
No smoking.
no alcohol.
Dogs must be carried.
Hot choc deluxe.
Dogs must be carried.
LFB.
A Perfect Blend.
Royal Mail.
Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Loads must be carried.
Special lunch breakfast. Parking subject to the Railway Bylaw Section 219 of the Transport Act 2000.
Superb coffee.
Cash dispensers.
Superb coffee.
Take extra care with
Loads
children.
must be carried at all times.
Are you alright, young man?
You're too old.
Are you alright?
You're too old to play a policeman.
Are you alright, young man?
No.
You're looking a bit worse for wear. The lady at the cafe says that when she tried talking to you, you're in a complete trance. What's your name?
Christopher Boone.
Where do you live?
36 Randolph Street.
What are you doing here?
I needed to sit down and be quiet and
Let's
think.
keep it simple. What are you doing at the railway station?
I'm going to live with Mother.
Mother?
Yes, Mother.
When's your train?
I don't know. She lives in London, but I don't know when there's a train to London.
So you don't live with your mother?
No, but I'm going to.
So where does your mother live?
In London.
Yes, but where in London?
451C Chapter Road, London. NW25NG.
Jesus, what is that?
He's my pet rat, Toby.
A pet rat?
Yes, a pet rat. He's very clean, and he hasn't got bubonic plague.
That's reassuring.
Yes.
Have you got a ticket?
No.
So how precisely were you going to get to London then?
I have a cash point card.
Is this your car?
No, it's Father's.
Father's?
Yes, Father.
Okay.
He gave me the number to it. 3558.
Why don't you and I take a stroll to the cash machine, eh?
You mustn't touch me.
Why would I want to touch you?
I don't know.
Well, neither do I.
Because I got a caution for hitting a policeman, but I didn't mean to hurt him, and if I do it again, I'll get into even bigger trouble.
Please insert your card.
Look serious, aren't you?
Yes.
Enter your personal identification number.
You lead the way.
Where?
Back to the ticket office.
How much is a ticket to London?
About 20 quid.
Please wait. Your transaction is being processed.
Is that pound?
Christ alive. Yeah, it's £20.
Please take your card and wait for your cash.
Well, I guess I shouldn't keep you chatting any longer.
Where do I get a ticket for the train from?
Oh, guys, pissing me, aren't you?
Where do I get a ticket for the train from?
In there. Now, are you sure you know what you are doing?
Yes, I'm going to London to live with Mother.
Has your mother got a telephone number?
Yes.
Can you tell me what it is?
Yes, it's Z2Z 888-789Z7.
And you'll ring her if you get into any trouble.
I want to go to London.
If you don't mind.
I want to go to London.
Single or return?
What does single or return mean?
Do you want to go one way or do you want to come back?
I want to stay there when I get there.
For how long?
Until I go to university.
Single then. That's £17.
When is the train to London?
Platform 1, 5 minutes.
Where's platform 1?
Through the underpass and up the stairs. You'll see the signs.
Underpass means tunnel, Christopher. In your head, imagine a big red line across the floor. It starts at your feet and goes through the tunnel. And walk along the line and count the rhythm in your head, because that helps, doesn't it? Like when you're doing music or when you're doing drumming. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right,
left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Is this the train to London?
Caught you just in time. We've got your father down at the police station. He's looking for you.
I know.
So why are you going to London?
Because I'm going to live with Mother.
Well, I think your father might have something to say about that.
Ah!
Okay? Let's not get overexcited here. I'm going to take you to the police station. And you and me and your dad can sit down and have a little chat about who's going where.
Have you arrested Father?
Arrested him? Before?
He killed a dog with the garden fork. His name was Wellington.
Well, we can talk about that as well. Right now, young man, I think you've done enough adventuring for one day.
Ah!
Now listen, you little monkey. You can either do what I say, or I'm going to have to make it.
I feel emotional.
Shitting fuck.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Why are you swearing? Have we started? Has the train started?
The onboard team, I would like to welcome you.
Rob? Yeah, it's Nigel. I'm stuck here on the bloody train. Yeah. Don't even. Look, stops at Didcot Parkway. So if you can get someone to meet me with a car. Cheers. Tell us old man we got him. But it's going to take a while. Okay. Great. Let's get ourselves a seat. Park yourself. You're a bloody handful, you are. Jeez.
I see everything. Most other people are lazy. They never look at everything. They do what is called glancing, which is the same word for bumping off something and carrying on in the same direction. And the information in their head is very simple. For example, if they're on a train, looking out of a window at the countryside, it might be,
I am sitting on a train looking out at a field that is full of grass.
There's some cows in the field.
It's sunny with a few clouds.
There are flowers in the grass.
There is a fence at the edge of the field, and it has a gate in.
and then they would stop noticing anything because they would start thinking something else like,
We really want a bag of quavers.
or
I'm worried that I might have left the gas cooker on.
or
I wonder if Julie has given birth yet.
But if I'm sitting on a train, looking out of a window at the countryside, I see everything, like there are 19 cows in a field, 15 of which are black and white, and 4 of which are brown and white. There is a village in the distance which has 31 visible houses. There are ridges in the field. There is a plastic bag from Asda. There is Coca-Cola. There is the snail. The snail. There are cows. The cows are facing the snail. There are nimbostratus clouds. There is a wind. There is a hedge. There is a Boeing 747-400. There is a white Reebok trainer. There is graffiti. Jane plus Ian forever.
Oh, Christ. You wet yourself. For God's sake. Get to the bloody toilet, will you?
But I'm on a train.
They do have toilets on trains, you know?
Where's the toilet on the train?
Through those doors, there. I'll be keeping my eye on you. You understand?
No.
Just get to the bloody toilet.
19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 55, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89, 97, 101, 103, 107, 109, 113, 127, 131, 137, 139, 149, 151, 157, 163, 167, 173, 179, 181, 191, 193, 197, 199, 211, 223, 227, 229, 233, 239, 241, 251, 257, 263, 269, 271, 277, 281.
Christopher. What the hell?
You scared the living daylights out of me. I think there's someone on the platform looking for you.
I know.
Well, it's your hideout.
You're touching my bag!
Yes.
Come and look at this, Barry. They've got, like, a train elf.
Well, we have both been drinking.
We should nick him.
He could be our elf mascot.
Come on. Shift it, you daft twat.
I waited for 9 more minutes, but nobody else came past and the train was really quiet. And I didn't move again, so I realized that the train had stopped. And I knew that the last stop on the train was London. And then I heard the sound of feet, and it was a policeman.
Excuse me, have you seen a 15-year-old boy? He's
Not the one who was on the train before.
Excuse me, have you seen a 15-year-old boy? He's wearing an orange jacket and a rucksack, and he has a rat with him.
And I could see him through the door into the next carriage, and he was looking under the seats. And I decided I don't like policemen so much, so I got off the train. Right, left, right, left, right, left.
The next train to depart from platform 14 will be the 1332 TfL Rail service to Heathrow Terminal 4. At Ealing Broadway, West Ealing, Hanwell, Southall, Hayes and Harlington, Heathrow Central for Terminals 2 and 3, and Heathrow Terminal...
Eat. Yo Sushi.
Boosters.
W.H. Smith.
Mezzanine.
Heathrow Express.
Clinic.
First Class Lounge.
Fuller's.
EasyCar.com.
Fuller's London Pub.
Dixon's.
Paddington Bear at Paddington Station.
Tickets. Taxis.
First aid.
Eastbourne Terrace.
Red out.
Fred Street. The Lawn.
Queue here, please.
Upper Crust.
Sainsbury's. Local information.
Great Western First.
Position closed.
Closed.
Position closed.
Sock Shop.
Fast ticket point.
Miller's Cookies. Coffee.
Present to stay at the Manchester United.
Freshly baked cookies and muffins.
Cold drinks.
Warning.
Savoury pastries.
Platform 14.
Burger King.
The Reef Cafe Bar.
Business travel.
Special edition.
75 albums.
Evening Standard.
Terminal 4. Change at West Ealing for services to Drayton Green, Castle Bar Park, South
Moss.
32
Whoa, whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
Green
whoa.
32. Platform 14 from the 1332 TfL rail service to Heathrow Terminal 4.
Right. Left. Right.
The train at platform 2 is the 30.
You look lost. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Is this London? Is this London?
Try on it.
Is this London?
Indeed it is.
How do I get to 451C Chapter Road, London? NW2 5NG.
Where's that?
It's 451C Chapter Road, London, NW2 5NG. And it sometimes can be written as 451C Chapter Road, Willisden, London, NW2 5NG.
Take the tube to Webster Junction, Webster Green.
What is a tube?
Over there. See that big staircase with the escalator? Yeah, size underground. Take the Bakerloo line to Webster Junction. What did you believe in Webster Green? You okay, honey?
Don't do this, Christopher.
Get away from me!
Christopher, you won't be able to.
I'm doing really well.
Where's your red line gone? See? It's disappeared. And where's your pocket knife? You've lost it, haven't you?
It's in my pocket.
Yeah, where?
Here.
Look, how are you going to find the Jubilee line? You don't even know what an escalator is, do you?
It's a moving staircase. You step onto it and it carries you down. Look, it's funny.
Stop laughing! Everybody's looking at you.
It looks like something out of science fiction.
Christopher, I'm worried about you.
You're lying. You killed Wellington.
Where are you going?
To watch the people. It's easy. Look. You go to the black machine. You look at where you want to go. You find the price and you put your money in.
You haven't got any money.
I have. I stole your card.
You little shit.
You press ticket type. Then you press adult single, £4.50. Insert £4.50. Take your ticket and change. And then you go to the grey gate and you put your ticket in the slot and it comes out the other end.
There is no Jubilee line. How are you going to get the Jubilee line to Willesden Green? You're in the wrong place.
There's a Bakerloo line. Look. I can get to Willisden Junction.
Come back home.
I can't.
You can.
You told a lie. You killed Wellington. Swindon's not my home anymore. My home is 451C Chapter Road, London, NW25NG.
Stand behind the yellow line.
I know.
The train will be really noisy.
I know.
It will scare you.
I know.
Just watch what the people do. Watch how they get on and off. Listen to the trains. Figure it out. Get the rhythm right. Train coming, train stopped. Doors open, train going. Silence.
Train's coming, train stops.
Train coming.
Doors open, train going. Silence. Train's coming, train stops. Doors open, train's going. Silence. Train's coming, train stops. Doors open, train's going. Silence. Train's coming, train stops. Doors open, train's going. Silence. Train's coming, train stops. Doors open. Toby? Toby! Where are you? Toby? Toby, what are you doing down there? You get back up here this instant. I'm warning you. If you don't get back up here this instant, I'm going to come down there to get you. Right. I'm coming down there, Toby. And when I catch you, I'm going to be very cross. I'm not going to let you play on your wheel for a whole week.
Jesus, what do you think you're doing?
My rat is on here.
Get out of there for fuck's sake!
Toby, it's filthy down here. You're going to get so dirty.
Oh my days! What is he doing?
What does it sodding well look like he's doing?
Call somebody! Get somebody! Don't just stand there!
There's nobody to call. Mate, please, for Christ's sake, come back up here.
I can't get back up there. I need to get my rat.
What?
Mate, please, you're going to get yourself killed.
You're going to have to go down there and get him!
Me? What's it got to do with me?
He's a kid! You can't just let him get it!
I know he's a kid. I can see he's a kid by sodding well looking at him. Mate, please, come on.
You're so silly. What am I going to do with you, Toby? Stop being so difficult.
I can't believe this is happening. This is ridiculous. Mate, please get your ass out of there now.
Don't panic. I found him.
Open then, you muppet!
Oh, come on. Oh, Christ. Christ. What the fuck do you think you're playing at?
I had to get my rat Toby.
Bloody Nora.
You okay?
Him? What about... Thanks a fucking bundle. Jesus Christ, a pet rat. Oh, shit, my train. Fuck.
Are you okay? Okay. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Stand back further away. I've got a Swiss Army knife and it's got a saw blade that I can use to cut fingers off.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to take that as a no.
Train coming. Train stops. Doors open. Train going. Train coming. Train stops. Doors open. Train going. Train's coming. Train stops. Doors open. Is this train going to Williston Junction?
There are 53,963 holiday cottages in Scandinavia and Germany.
Weiter Bionic!
Is this train going to Williston Junction?
3435. 3435.
Penalty £10 if you fail to show a valid ticket for the entire journey.
Discover gold. Ben Brom.
Is this train going to Williston Junction?
TVIC.
EPBIC.
Suck my cock.
Obstructing the doors can be dangerous.
BRV. Con IC.
Is this train going to Williston Junction?
Talk to the world.
Warwick Avenue. Maida Vale, Kilburn Park, Queen's Park, Kensal Green, Williston Junction.
Where's 451C Chapter Road, London? NW25NG.
A to C to London, 295. Now, are you going to buy it or not?
I don't know.
Well, you could get your dirty fingers off of it if you don't mind.
Where's 451C Chapter Road, London? NW25NG.
You can either buy it, the A to Z, or you can hop it. I'm not a walking encyclopedia.
Is that the A to Z?
No, it's a solid crocodile.
Is that the A to Z?
Yes, it's the A to Z.
Can I buy it?
£2.95. But you're giving me the money first, not having you scoppering.
Big cheese. Oh yes. Finesses. Never. Bloody liar. Total bloody liar.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
I don't care whether you thought it was funny or not.
Judy, look. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, perhaps you should have thought about that before you made me look like a complete idiot.
You weren't in, so I waited for you. What?
Sorry, I forgot.
I suppose that means Ed's here.
Where's your father?
I think he's in Swindon.
Thank God for that.
But how did you get it?
I came on the train.
I didn't. Why are you here on your own? Chrissy, you're soaking. Roger, don't just stand there.
Are you going to come in?
Roger, please,
Or are you going to stand out here all night? Come on then, soldier. Let's get you warmed up. You'll catch your death of cold out here.
Are you okay, Christopher?
I'm very tired.
I know, love. Will you let me help you get your clothes off? I can get you a t-shirt. You should get yourself into bed. T-shirt? Pass me a t-shirt. You're very brave.
Yes,
You never wrote to me.
I know.
Why didn't you write to me, Christopher? I wrote you all those letters. I kept thinking something dreadful had happened or you'd moved away and I'd never find out where you were.
Father said you were dead.
What?
He said you went into hospital with something wrong with your heart. And you had a heart attack and died.
God! Oh my God!
Why are you doing that?
Christopher, I'm sorry.
Not your fault.
Bastard! That bastard! Christopher, let me hold your hand. Just for once. For me, will you? I won't hold it hard.
I don't like people holding my hands.
No, that's okay. Okay.
I need to speak to him.
He's been through enough today already.
I know. I still need to speak to him. Christopher Boone, can you please open the door?
Come on, Christopher.
Christopher, love. It's all right. Just open the door, sweetheart, will you?
Is he going to take me away?
No, Christopher, he isn't.
Will you let him take me away?
No, I won't.
Do you promise?
Yes, I promise.
Your father says you've run away from home, is that right?
Yes.
Is this your mother?
Yes.
Why did you run away?
Because Father killed Wellington, who was a dog, and that meant he could kill me.
So I've been told. Do you want to go back to Swindon to your father, or do you want to stay here?
I want to stay here.
And how would you feel about that?
I want to stay here.
Hang on, I'm only asking your mother.
He told Christopher I was dead.
Okay, now let's not get into an argument about who said what. I'm only asking
Of course
whether...
he can stay.
Right. Well, I think that probably settles things as far as I'm concerned.
Are you going to take me back to Swindon?
No. If your husband comes around here causing any trouble, you should ring us. Otherwise, you'll have to sort everything else out between yourselves.
I'm talking to her, whether you like it or not.
Roger, don't. Just...
I'm not going to be spoken to like that in my own home.
I'll talk to you how I damn well like.
You have no right to be here.
He's my son, in case you've forgotten.
What in God's name did you think you were playing at, saying those things to him?
You were the one that bloody left!
So you decided to just wipe me out of his life altogether?
Now, let's all try to calm down here, shall we?
Isn't that exactly what you wanted?
I wrote him every week.
What the fuck use is writing to him?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I cooked his meals. I cleaned his clothes. I looked after him when he was ill. I took him to the doctor. I looked after him at weekends. I worried myself sick every night he went wandering off somewhere on his own. I went to school every time he had a fight, and you wrote him some fucking letters!
So you thought it was okay to tell him his mother was dead?
Now is not the time.
I'm going to see him, and if you try to stop me... Christopher. Look, I'm really, really sorry about the letters. I promise you I will never do anything like that again. Oh shit. Christopher, please.
Mr. Boone.
What the fuck are you doing here? Did you call him?
Mr. Boone, come on, mate.
Don't fucking make me. This is my son.
I know, this can all be sorted out. Just come with me. Please.
I think you should go now. I think he's frightened.
I'll be back. Christopher, I'll be back. I promise you, Christopher. I promise you, lad.
Go back to sleep now. Everything's going to be all right. I promise.
What time is it?
7 minutes past 2 in the morning.
I can't sleep.
It's because you're scared of Mr. Shears. You're being silly.
There's nobody about. You can hear the traffic.
What cars are there?
A Fiesta, a Nissan Micra, a Peugeot, a Ford Granada.
What colors are they?
I can't tell. I can only see orange and black, and mixtures of orange and black.
Look at the things people have in their front garden.
Oh yes. Is that an elf?
It's a gnome. And a teddy bear. And a little pond. Look.
And a cooker. I like looking up at the sky.
Me too.
When you look up at the sky at night, you know you're looking at stars that are hundreds and thousands of light years away from you. And some of them don't even exist anymore because their light took too long to reach us and they're already dead. Or they have exploded and collapsed into red dwarfs. And that makes you seem very small. And if you have difficult things in your life, it is nice to think that they are what is called negligible, which means they're so small that you don't have to take them into account when you're calculating something. I can't see any stars here.
No.
It's because of the light pollution in London. All of the street lights and car headlights and floodlights and lights in buildings reflect off tiny particles in the atmosphere that get in the way of the light from the stars.
Christopher? Christopher!
I have to go.
Don't!
I have to.
Siobhan! Siobhan! Where are you going? Siobhan!
Christopher! Jesus Christ, what are you doing out here?
I've been looking for you. I thought you'd gone. If you ever do that again, I swear to God, Christopher. I love you, but I don't know what I'll do. You need to promise me you won't leave the flat on your own again, Christopher. Christopher, do you promise me that?
Yes.
You can't trust people in life.
Don't be a bloody fool.
I'm not being a bloody fool, Roger. They got somebody and they didn't even call me. They didn't ask me if I wanted to come back. I've been off 2 days. It's illegal, that is.
It's a temporary job, for Christ's sake.
I have to go to Swindon to do my A-level.
Christopher, not now. I'm getting phone calls from your father threatening to take me to court. I am getting it in the neck from Roger. It is not a good time.
But I have to go because it's been arranged. And the Reverend Peters is going to invigilate.
It's only an exam. I can ring the school. I can get it postponed. You can take it some other time.
I can't do it another time. It's been arranged. I've done lots of revision, and Miss Gascoigne said that we could use a room at school.
Christopher, I am just about holding this together, but I am this close to losing it. All right, so just give me some...
Miss Lolly,
Yes, I would, please.
would you like a strawberry one?
Yes, I would, please, because that's red. What's it called here?
It's called Hampstead Heath. I love it. You can see all over London.
Where are those planes going to?
Heathrow, I think. Christopher, I rang Mrs. Gascoigne. I told her that you're going to take your maths A-level next year.
No! 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 No!
Please, calm down, okay? Okay.
No! No! No!
Down. Well, what does it look like to you?
Here we are. You wanted a radio. $100 number puzzles. Is from the library. This one is called Origins of the Universe. And this one is nuclear power.
They're for children. They're not very good. I'm not going to read them.
Well, it's nice to know my contribution is appreciated.
Christopher, I made you a chart. Because you've got to eat, love. In here is some Complan. And it's got strawberry flavouring on it.
Complan.
Be quiet, Roger. Christopher, if you drink 200 millilitres, then you get a bronze star on your chart.
I don't believe this.
For God's sake, please. If you drink 400 millilitres, then you get a silver star. And if you drink 600 millilitres, you get a gold star.
A gold star! Well, that's very original, I have to say.
Roger, stop it, for God's sake. You're not helping.
think you're so clever, don't you? Don't you ever think about other people for 1 second? Eh? Well, I bet you're really pleased with yourself now, aren't you?
Christopher, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I promise this will never happen again.
What time is it?
It's 4 o'clock.
What are you doing?
I'm packing some clothes.
Where's Mr. Shears?
He's asleep. Come downstairs. Bring Toby. Get into the car.
Into Mr. Shears' car?
That's right.
Are you stealing the car?
I'm just borrowing it.
Where are we going?
We're going home.
Do you mean home in Swindon?
Yes.
Is Father going to be there?
Please, Christopher, don't give me any hassle right now, okay?
I don't want to be with Father.
Just, it's going to be all right, Christopher, okay? It's going to be all right.
Are we going back to Swindon so I can do my maths A-level?
What?
I'm meant to do my maths A-level tomorrow.
We're to Swindon because if we stay in London any longer, someone was going to get hurt, and I don't necessarily mean you. Now, I need you to be quiet for a while.
How long do you need me to be quiet for?
Half an hour, Christopher. I need you to be quiet for half an hour.
How the fuck did you get in here?
This is my house too, in case you've forgotten.
Is your fancy man here as well?
Christopher, he's gone. You don't need to panic.
Where's he gone to?
He's gone to stay with Rodri for a while.
Is he going to be arrested and go to prison?
What for?
For killing Wellington.
I don't think so. I think he'll only get arrested if Mrs. Shears presses charges.
What's that?
It's when you tell the police to arrest someone for little crimes. They only arrest people when you ask.
Is killing Wellington a little crime?
Yes, love, it is. Next few weeks we're going to try to get a place of our own to live in.
Can I do my maths A-level?
You're not listening to me, are you, Christopher?
I am listening to you.
I told you I rang your headmistress. I told her you were in London. I told her you'd do it next year.
But I'm here now, so I can take it.
I'm sorry, Christopher. I didn't know we'd be coming back. This isn't going to solve anything.
You've got to know.
Where are we going?
Swanning round here as though nothing ever happened.
Ignore her, Christopher.
Where are we going?
So, he's finally dumped you too, has he?
Where are we going?
You had it coming. And don't pretend like you didn't, because you did!
Where are we going?
We're going to the school.
So you're Christopher's
That's
mother?
right. And you're...
I'm Siobhan. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too.
Hello, Christopher.
Hello.
Are you okay?
I'm tired.
He's a bit upset.
Because of the A-level, you said.
He won't eat. He won't sleep.
Yes, I spoke to Mrs. Gascoigne after you called. She actually has your A-level papers in the 3 sealed envelopes in her desk.
I still have the A-level papers at my desk.
Does that mean I can still do my A-level?
I think so. We're going to ring the Reverend Peters to make sure he can still come in this afternoon and be your invigilator. And Mrs. Gascoigne is going to call the examination board to say that you're going to take the exam after all. I thought I should tell you now, so you could think about it.
So I could think about what?
Is this what you want to do, Christopher? If you say you don't want to do it, no one is going to be angry with you, and it won't be wrong or illegal or stupid. It will just be what you want, and that will be fine.
I want to do it.
Okay, how tired are you?
Very.
How's your brain when you think about maths?
I don't think it really works very well.
What's the logarithmic formula for the approximate number of prime numbers not greater than x?
I can't think.
This is jolly exciting, eh, Christopher? Well, I'm excited anyway. Now, the exam is going to last 90 minutes, Christopher, okay? The first thing to do is to pop your name in front. Okay, young man, are you ready to roll? Turn over the paper, please, Christopher. And begin.
Seven, 64, 125, 216, 343, 512, 729, 1,000, 1,331.
Are you all right, Christopher?
I can't read the question.
What do you mean? Can you see the question?
I can't read the question. I can see the questions, I just can't read the questions. Because when I look at the words, they seem all confused and the wrong way around and mixed up
Christopher,
to
I'm
me.
afraid I can't help you like that. I'm not allowed to.
What does this question say?
Christopher, stop groaning, get your breath, count the cubes of the cardinal numbers again.
1, 8, 27, 64, 125, 216, 343, 512, 729, 1,000, 1,331.
Now, have another go.
Show that a triangle with sides that can be written in the form n squared plus 1, n squared minus 1, and n2, where n is greater than 1, is right angled.
You don't have to tell us.
What?
You don't have to tell us how you solved it.
But it's my favorite question.
Yes, but it's not very interesting.
I think it is.
Christopher, people won't want to hear about the answer to a maths question in a play. Look, why don't you tell it after the curtain call? When you've finished, you can do a bow, and then people who want to can go home, and if anybody wants to find out how you solved the maths question, then they can stay, and you can tell them at the end. Okay?
Okay.
Don't scream. Okay, Christopher. I'm not gonna hurt you. I just wanted to ask you how the exam went.
Tell him, Christopher.
I don't know if I got all the questions right, because I was really tired and I hadn't eaten any food, so I couldn't think properly.
Thank you.
What for?
Just thank you. I really am very proud of you, Christopher. Very proud. I'm sure you did really well.
How's your flat?
It's not really a flat. It's a room. It's small. The corridor is painted brown. Other people use the toilet. Mother has to clean the toilet before I can use it. Sometimes there are other people in there, so I do wet myself. The corridor smells like gravy and bleach. The room smells like socks and pine air freshener. And another bad thing is that Toby died. Because he was 2 years and 7 months old, which is very old for a rat. I don't like waiting for my A-level result. If I lived at your house, I would have more room to put all my things, and I wouldn't have to share the toilet with strangers. Can I come live at your house so I would have more room to put all my things, and I won't have to share the toilet with strangers?
No, you can't.
Why can't I? Is it because I'm too noisy and I'm difficult to control?
No, it's because I'm not your mother, Christopher.
No.
That's very important, Christopher. Do you understand that?
I don't know. Mother doesn't come back from work till 5:30, so I have to go to Father's between 3:49 and 5:30. I'm not allowed to be on my own. Mother said I didn't have a choice. I push the bed up against the door in case Father tries to come in. Sometimes he tries to talk to me through the door. I don't answer him. And sometimes he just sits outside the door quietly for a long time.
Christopher? Can I have a talk with you?
No. No, 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 you can't. No.
It's okay, I'll be there.
I don't want to talk to Father.
I'll do you a deal. 5 minutes. Okay? That's all. Look, Christopher. Things can't go on like this. I don't know about you, but it just hurts too much. You being in the house and refusing to talk to me, you have to start trusting me again. I don't care how long it takes. Whether it's 1 minute one day, 2 minutes the next, 3 minutes the day after that. I don't care if it takes years. Because this is important. This is more important than anything else. Let's call it a project. A project that we have to do together. You have to spend more time with me, and I have to show you that you can trust me. And it will be difficult at first, because it's a difficult project. But things will get better. I promise you. And I've got you a present to show you that I really mean what I say, and to say sorry. And well, look, once you see it, you'll understand it better. He's 2 months old.
I would never do anything to hurt you.
You won't be able to take him with you, I'm afraid. The bedsit's too small. But your father's going to look after him here, and you can take him out whenever you want.
Does he have a name?
No. You can decide what to call him.
Sandy. He's called Sandy.
We need to go now.
Yes.
We'll come back tomorrow, and you can see him then.
Christopher?
Yes?
Here.
What's this?
It's your results, Christopher.
Right.
You need to open it and read it.
Right.
Well, what does it say?
I got an A star.
That's just terrific, Christopher.
Yes.
Aren't you happy?
Yes, it's the best result.
I know, it is. How's your dog, Christopher?
He's very well. I stayed at Father's last week because Mother got flu and he slept on my bed so he can bark if somebody tries to enter my room at night.
And how are you getting along with your father, Christopher?
He planted a vegetable patch in his garden. I helped him and Sandy watched. We planted carrots and peas and spinach, and I'm going to pick them when they're ready. He bought me a book which is called Further Maths for A-Level, and he told Miss Gascoigne that I'm going to take further maths next year. She said okay.
I heard that.
I'm going to pass it and get an A-star grade. And then, in 2 years, I'm going to take A-level physics and get an A-star grade. And then, I'll go to university in another town. It doesn't have to be London because I don't like London. Because there are universities in lots of other places, and not all of them are big cities. And I can live in a flat with a garden and a proper toilet. And I can take Sandy and my books and my computer. And then I'll get a first-class honors degree, and then I'll be a scientist. I can do these things.
I hope so.
I can because I got to London on my own. I solved the mystery of who killed Wellington. I found my mother. I was brave.
Were.
And I wrote a book.
I know. I read it. We turned it into a play.
Yes. Does that mean I could do anything, do you think? Does that mean I can do anything, Siobhan? Does that mean I can do anything? Thank you very much for clapping. And thank you very much for staying behind to listen to how I answered the question on my Maths A-level. Siobhan said it wouldn't be very interesting, but I said it was. She didn't tell me what all I should use, so I decided to use all the machines and computers in the theater, including VLZZ arc lights, which are moving lights, lights emitting diodes, JBL control speakers, a Countryman boom mic and radio transmitter, 4 PTDX overhead projectors, and our DSM called Cynthia, who will operate these. I only had 90 minutes to answer 10 questions, but I spent 30 minutes doing grounding, which meant I only had 6 minutes to answer this question. Show that a triangle with sides that can be written in the form n squared plus 1, n squared minus 1, and 2n, when n is greater than 1, is right angled. And this is what I wrote. Start the clock. If a triangle is right angled, one of its angles will be 90 degrees, and will therefore follow Pythagoras' theorem. Pythagoras said a squared plus b squared equals c squared. To put it simply, if you draw squares on the outside of the three sides of a right angled triangle, then you add up the area of the two smaller squares, this will equal the area of the larger square. This is only true if the triangle is right angled. Come on, Bluey. The A-level question is an algebraic formula for making right-angled triangles. Algebra is like a computer program that works for numbers that you put in it. Cut. Actually, you know what? Forget it. If there's background noise, there's background noise. To get the area of a square, you must multiply the length by the width. So, the area of this square is 2n times 2n, which equals 4n squared. And the area of this square is n squared minus 1 times n squared minus 1, which equals n to the power of 4 minus 2n squared plus 1. Then, if we add these two squares together, this equals n to the power of 4 plus 2n squared plus 1. Now, we need to find the area of the hypotenuse on the square, which is n to the power of 2 plus 1 times n to the power of 2 plus 1, which equals n to the power of 4 plus 2n squared plus 1, which is the same term. So, the area of the two smaller squares equals the area of the larger square. So, all my squares satisfy Pythagoras' theorem. So, the triangle is right-angled. Quod erat demonstrandum. And that is how I got my A star. Confetti!